Thanks for hearing from my channel. Please like, subscribe and support us if you feel interested. Empowerment Arc Chapter 14 Trouble The military nation Dwargon. It was the kingdom of dwarves. 1,000 years had passed since the first-generation dwarf hero, King Gurren Dwargo, had built this country. To this day, the country had been protecting, as well as developing, its history, culture, and technologies. The current King Gazelle Dwargo was part of the third-generation dwarves, but possessed a similar aura to that of his grandfather in his younger days. He was renowned as a great hero and celebrated as a wise king for his impartial rule. The land was governed by one such dwarf. As a free trade town, it was the center of trade between all kinds of races. Therefore, the town kept a policy of absolute neutrality. Within this town, the wise king would not tolerate violence. Even the empire in the east avoided open aggression with the military nation Dwargon. Needless to say, this was a favorite topic of conversation among adventurers. The dwarves were known to be such ferocious opponents, that there was even a saying, "Go against a dwarf once, there won't be a second time." Their reputation as a military nation was not just for show. In battle, a wall of heavy infantry would defend the army magic corps. The opposing enemies would be totally annihilated by the powerful magic attacks before even managing to break through the infantry wall. During these past 1,000 years, the might of the dwarven army that boasted invincibility had always remained famous. And the factor which supported their claims. It was none other than the equipments they produced using their technological strength. The weapons and armors they crafted using their cutting-edge techniques far surpassed the quality of ordinary goods. Therefore, rather than quarrel with the dwarf race, people chose to create friendly ties. For this reason, even if one were to encounter demons in dwarf territory, there was hardly anyone who would foolishly cause conflict. Their capital was a place where humans and demons mingled. It was truly one of the strangest lands in the world. Not to mention, while the capital positively overflowed with tools of war, it was still a country that was able to enjoy peace. The fact that the arms dealer's stronghold was the farthest from causing strife might have been, in a way, ironic. In front of the entrance, there was a large line of people entering. There, a large gate was built that was big enough to completely block the naturally formed Great Cave. The only times the gate was opened was on the occasions when the army needed to come and go, and only once a month at that. Unfortunately, it was closed today. Below the large gate, a small door was installed for the express purpose of letting people in and out. A line of people was formed on the left side of the passage. It appeared that the right-hand side was a pathway for the likes of nobles and important figures. That's what I assumed as I observed my surroundings while lining up on the left side. While waiting, I saw that there was a varied treatment of the people, such as those who received a free pass, while others would be taken into a separate room to be checked. Befitting a military nation, the guards took a firmly defensive stance. Although it seemed that you were comparatively free to act when you get inside. Still, the line was incredibly long. It might be that we would spend more time here waiting than we did traveling. But at the moment I was thinking that, oi, there's demons in a place like this. We're still not inside, so isn't it fine to kill them here? Hey, what are you doing lining up there? You guys are damn cheeky. If you don't want to die, give me that spot. Also, leave everything you have behind. And then I'll let you go this time. Those were really quite dubious statements. Actually, I think that voice full of ill intent was aimed towards us. Over here, there was no one but me and Gobuta-kun. In any case, taking along a group wearing only loincloths does make you stand out in a bad way. Rigger had also wanted to come, but I refused. The other group was camping at the entrance of the forest, waiting for our return. And that was why it was just us two, but I wonder if we looked like easy targets? It seemed that a pair of adventurers that didn't want to get in line had their eyes on us. Oi, Gobuta-kun, do you hear something? Yes, I can hear it too. Did you get caught up in something like this the last time you came? Of course. I was beaten black and blue, then I got picked up by a group of kobold merchants. If they hadn't found me, I think I might have died back then. So you did get involved. Well then, can nothing be done about it? It's something like the fate of weak demons. It looked like we were in trouble. Moreover, this was considered a normal occurrence here. I wished I'd known sooner. As if he had realized my thoughts, Gobuta-kun was hanging his head. I had finally gotten him to talk normally with me, but would this one-time mistakes return him to his previous nervousness? I was a little worried. Oi, Even though you're nothing but a small fry. Don't ignore me now. Rather than that, isn't a talking slime rare? Don't you think it'll be popular in an exhibit? The two continued making their annoying conversation. I vaguely felt like I've been told at one time that I had a Buddha-like deep compassion. But this was making me angry. Gobuta-kun. Do you remember the rules I said before? Yes. Of course. I see. Well then, for a while, I want you to close your eyes and plug your ears. You must not ever look this way. I don't really understand, but roger that. Now let's see. I was the one who made the rules, yet I would be breaking them first. If my group came to know of this, it would be bad from an educational standpoint. Since I made sure that Gobuta-kun, who was in the way, closed his eyes, let's begin clearing the trash. At that moment, the man on my right shifted his line of sight. Further checking my surroundings, I saw a group of 3 grinning amongst themselves as they observed the situation from afar. The 2 in front of me was a swordsman and another man wearing lightweight equipment. Most likely, he was in the profession of thieving. In the group of 3, there was 2 that were wearing magician or priest-like robes, and a large warrior. I made a prediction. All of them were in the same party, and these 2 in front were meant to chase us out, according to their plan. Afterwards, the other 3 would follow and kill us as we run away, and then innocently regroup with the first 2. I dare say that this was the scenario that they laid out. In this way, they must have killed the weaker demons and stolen their belongings. It was well thought up. However, this time, they picked the wrong opponent. Oi oi. You should patiently wait for your turn. I'm a very tolerant fellow, so it's not too late for forgiveness. Hurry up and line up from the back. I began provoking them. In that instant, the 2 in front of me were bewildered, and their faces quickly turned red. These guys had short tempers. Putting up a front when you're nothing but a shish *tty small fry demon. Don't get cocky. Oi oi, you're as good as dead now. I even considered sparing your life if only you gave up your belongings. They were reciting the kind of lines suited to petty underlings. Hey, back when I was a general contractor, if you couldn't manage to make scary grim-faced uncles dance to your tune, you just weren't fit for work. Among those uncles, there were even some that had playfully scribbled things, tattoos, on their body. The feeble threats of a greenhorn was nothing more than passing wind. A shish *tty small fry demon? Were you talking about me? Of course it's about you. Slime is like a small fry among small fry. Hurry up and get over here. It looks like you can talk well, so I'll turn you into a demon slave without killing you. A demon slave? There was something like that? Leaving that aside for the moment. The nearby merchants and adventurers were starting to notice the disturbance we were causing. I had to gather more attention. Although I don't know if such a thing as legitimate self-defense would work here, it would be great if even a few people could testify for me. However, was there no kind human who would yell, "I'll save you," and come dashing out? If I was a beautiful girl, there might have been someone like that, but I guess it's unreasonable to expect a slime. Calling me small fry over and over, you sure talk arrogantly. Moreover, me, a slime? No matter how I see it, you're definitely a slime. Damn you, messing with me. I can't forgive being made a fool of by a weakling like you. I'll kill you after all. After saying that, the 2 readied their weapons. At last they were about to come at me. Oh boy. The first humans I got to talk to were like this. Such bad luck. I think that demons were friendlier. The people nearby had begun moving away to watch in a circle around us from afar. Perhaps the guards had also noticed the uproar, which might have been why they distanced themselves in such a hurry. Now then. I leisurely moved forwards and said, "Kakuku. You say I'm a weakling? A slime? Since when did I become a slime? Or are you just confused?" I deliberately spoke as if to imply something else. It was true, that however you looked at it, I really am a slime. That was obvious from the very moment I was seen as a slime. But this was an act, probably. What did you say? Don't get carried away with bluffing. HMPH. If you're not a slime, then show your real form already. After you're dead, you won't get to make excuses. It seemed they would wait for me to transform. Just as planned. Even as a slime, I believe I could win against them. However, holding back would be hard, so I might end up accidentally slicing them right in half. It was difficult to adjust my strength to the degree of only knocking them out. All right then. I'll let you see, this true form of mine. This isn't even my final form. As I shouted, I also lost a sinister aura to hint at my power. Of course, only a little bit of it. I checked around me to see if anyone had sensed that small amount of aura. Among the people watching us from far away, only a few had noticed. The two idiots before me and their companions showed no sign of being aware of it. These guys seemed to be all bark and no bite. I was done with observing the situation now. Now then, what should I turn into? From my body. It completely shrouded my form, and after a while it cleared away to reveal a different demon. A black wolf. Oh? I remember the last time I used predation and transformed afterwards, I had taken the form of a fanged wolf. Right now, I had black fur that was identical to that of the evolved Ranga and his pack. But not only that, my physique exceeded even Ranga's, and there was now a pair of horns on my forehead. Mimesis. Tempest Star Wolf. It seems that, if the lineage of the demon I've used predation on evolved, it would also affect my mimicry. Most likely related to Rimuru naming them, which makes them family, and connected in a way. This must have been a further evolved form of Ranga. I could feel an overwhelming power. I was sure that the idiot pair would run away upon seeing this appearance. But contrary to my expectation, even if you look tougher on the outside, it doesn't change that you're a slime. Oi oi, did you think we'd get cold feet and run away from just that? They don't realize anything. Oi oi, you should be able to know the level of danger just by looking. In the first place, if a slime transforms, even if you couldn't tell if it was an illusion or something else, taking caution is a given. And yet, these guys weren't concerned in the least. Perhaps they were reassured by the presence of their three friends in hiding. The number of skills I could use had also increased. Super olfaction, thought transmission, intimidation, shadow movement, black lightning. Shadow movement was a skill that Ranga and Co. was in the middle of practicing. Their goal was to become able to use the skill to merge into the shadow of their partner and instantly appear when called. At present, they were only practicing entering shadows, so there was still a long way to go. And the other, black lightning, I could imagine its power without needing to test it. If I tried it out, the pitiful men in front of me would be burnt to black crisps. But since my predictions were rather poor, their conditions may turn out even worse. This being the case, there were no skills to use. If only intimidation would work on these morons. In a way, aren't idiots invincible? Anyhow, the end result was that I only managed to terrify a few of the spectators out of their wits instead. Oh boy. I don't care anymore. This is too tiring, so just come at me. I let them have the first strike. If I received damage while mimicking, what would happen? On one occasion, I had experimented on that question while in lizard form. I found out while continuously receiving attacks, that when a certain amount of damage accumulated, the mimicry would wear off. Afterwards, there was no damage that had transferred to my slime body. Most likely, it was because the skill mimesis utilized magic essence to create a new body, which was why the main body couldn't be damaged. There were two restrictions on this skill. After mimesis wore off, I would be unable to transform for the next 3 minutes, and the other was that mimicking a demon required a certain amount of magic essence. The amount of magic essence required was relatively insignificant, hence it was not an issue, and there was no duration limit to the skill. To sum up, there wouldn't be a problem in letting them attack me as much as they wanted. In the case that the opponents were strong, I could return to my slime form and escape immediately. And the fight began with them attacking first. Hey, die. Raw. Windslash. The thief threw multiple daggers towards me. And was that swordsman using a skill attack? His sword was glowing green as he swung the blade at me. Clang. Snap. Simultaneously throwing 3 daggers was quite impressive, but there wasn't enough force behind them to pierce my bristles. As for the swordsman, sadly, his precious sword had broken with a snap. Just now, did you do something? Assuming the role of a villain with an air of experience, I enthusiastically asked them in a belittling way. But frankly, the power of their attacks were so weak that my question was rather reasonable. Was that skill nothing but a show? No way. Such hard bristles. Real hard, baby, impossible. This kind of thing, it's impossible. My sword was made with silver. It had a power-amplifying effect against demons. Well, of course, isn't silver fragile? What was he even saying, this guy? Oi, you guys help out as well. As if no longer caring for appearance, he called for his companions. As I expected, the 3 that were in hiding were a part of their group. Hey, it's the end for you now. My, really, I didn't expect we would get a turn. A slime's transformation magic? Interesting. I'll be sure to dissect it after killing it. For a while now, it hasn't been moving at all. Moving will probably break the spell. How's that? Did I hit bullseye? They were making so much noise while saying whatever they liked. The 5 of them then spread out in a circle around me, and began attacking at the same time. The thief slashed at me with a short sword. This time, the swordsman casted a magic attack, wind sickles. He was surprisingly talented. The heavy warrior bellowed, "Heavy slash," as he swung his great axe. The magician also used a magic attack, fireball. The priest was creating a magic shield in preparation for my attack. As a party, it was a well-balanced formation. Though unfortunately for them, none of their attacks had affected me. I peeked a fleeting glance towards them. Apparently, they were too shocked to make a sound. If it was now, intimidation might have an effect. Aru tilde tilde tilde. Wolf howling. Believe me when I say I'm really sorry about the bad sound effects I used intimidation on top of my howling. But, this turned out to be a massive failure. Even the spectators were fainting over here, and wetting their pants over there. To put simply, the situation was a great disaster. Crap. What should I do? This definitely wouldn't end well at all. What about the group of 5? They had taken the full brunt of intimidation at point-blank range. Well, of course. There wasn't really a need to say it out loud. And suddenly, I detected a number of dwarven guardsmen that were running this way with magic perception. As for my current state of mind, I gazed at the scene of people soiling their pants with various substances, and I unconcernedly thought to myself while escaping from reality, cleaning up after that mess would really suck. Status name. Rimuru Tempest species. Slime titles. Crest of Storm Magic. None skills. Unique skill Great Sage. Unique skill Predator. Slime inherent skills Dissolution, Absorption, Self-regeneration. Extra skill Water manipulation. Extra skill Magic perception. Acquired skills. Black Snake Heat perception, Poison Mist Breath. Centipede Paralysis Breath. Spider Sticky Thread, Steel Thread. Bat Ultrasonic Waves. Lizard Body Armor. Black Wolf Super Olfaction, Thought Transmission, Intimidation, Shadow Movement, Black Lightning. Resistances. Heat Fluctuation Resistance X Physical Attack Resistance Pain Immunity Electrical Resistance Paralysis Resistance. Thanks for hearing from my channel. Please like, subscribe and support us if you feel interested.